Welcome to the Daily Whatever Show. I am Lawrence Winterman. I am just waiting for, there she is, Dana Dubois joining. I just got a
Hello.
note from our guest today, Cliff, that he that he can't join. So hang on.
Oh
Dana, say hi to
no.
everybody while I resend the link to Cliff.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Whatever Show. I'm Dana Dubois, and I'm a bit sick today, so anything goes. Anything goes, Lawrence. Um, I was unclear if he couldn't join because he can't join at all, or because the link wasn't working. Oh, he needs an invite. Hi,
It seems like
Cliff.
the link isn't working.
Weird. Can we blame the AWS shutdown again still? Is that still a thing?
Uh, I don't know if it is still a thing. I really have we talked lately about how much I hate the fact that the tool that we are broadcasting on is also the way that we communicate with the people who are going to be on the show. Like,
Yeah,
can I
it is.
broadcast on my computer so I can use my phone, please?
Right. Or maybe we need to tell folks like always use Substack DM so that we can see it while we're live because we can't. Or we just need to be those important people who have two phones. This is my
Oh my God. Yeah,
podcasting.
there you go. That's all it is.
Right.
We just need to have two phones. It's just so simple.
Completely. Completely. How's it going, Lawrence?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I'm better than you. You are feeling pretty crappy from what I understand.
I am feeling pretty crappy. And I've never had a reaction to a vaccine like this before. So I wasn't expecting it. Even I've gotten the two once before, like the two for flu and COVID. But, and it was Sunday afternoon. Sorry, I'm running so late. I'm still making my tea. Look, it could be an endorsement. And I love Chobani Extra Creamy Oat Milk because I really do love Chobani Extra Creamy.
Mm.
It is the best oat milk out there, even better than Oatly. I said it. Though Oatly's pretty good too. Yeah, I went Sunday afternoon being like, "Yeah, if I'm a little under the weather tomorrow, I'll just call it a Monday." But oh man, I left work at like noon yesterday and like did not move all night. And yeah, I have, speaking of product endorsements, I have an Aura ring. Do you know what these are? The fitness rings. I've
Oh
had
yeah,
it.
I have one.
Oh,
I
you
don't
have one
wear it,
too.
but I have one.
Really? Oh my God. I've had this for like 5, maybe even longer, 5 years or longer. I love it. Gives the best biometrics. And this morning it's like, on fire, you're sick.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I rallied, got out of bed. Um, perhaps TMI. The thing that's weird, Lawrence, is I'm having stabbing pains in my left upper quadrant here. I
Oh,
don't
that's
know what
not great.
I know. Is that my spleen or my pancreas? Like, what's even there? I
Yeah,
think.
that's like spleen and pancreas. Left upper
Yeah,
quadrant. Yeah.
and that's unusual for me. Like, I have a previous surgery on the right side, so that I'm kind of used to. But this, I'm like, what is happening? So I may go to a doctor today. I don't know. I'm not going to go into work though because I'm sick a little bit, but like not really sick. It's just a vaccine. So
All
I
right.
don't know.
Here's what I'm doing. I'm gonna
There's
invite
something.
Cliff because I don't know what else to do other than just directly invite him. So we're bringing the guests on early this week, everybody.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's, like, absolutely bring him on early. I got out of bed this morning because I was like, "I can't not meet Cliff."
We did it.
Oh my gosh, we
Cliff.
Sorry
pulled
about
it
that, man.
off.
Cliff Schecter, please meet Dana Dubois. I am so excited
Dana,
to introduce the two of you.
I am
Cliff, Dana is one of my best friends of all time. We've known each other for 47 years.
yeah,
whoa,
right?
uh,
4th grade. 4th grade, Cliff.
that's some solid friendship right there. I have one or two of those. That's I mean seriously,
I
lots
feel
changed in that time.
a lot has
Yeah,
changed.
we don't look the same.
Mm.
No, no, you
Lawrence
know.
is way more handsome, way more handsome.
Well, I mean, Lawrence and I obviously with the gray in our beards, you know, we obviously only get better with age, but that doesn't, you know, for whatever reason, you stay the same age, Dana, and I don't know what that is. So
I
you
Yeah.
need to
don't
tell us what you do.
it's just all caffeine and, exhaustion. It just
Caffeine and exhaustion seems about right.
Okay, yep,
yeah.
that'll do it. Um,
And I'm going to apologize. I got double vaccinated on Sunday. I'm not apologizing for that. I'm very happy we still have vaccines out here on the West Coast. But
Oh yeah.
I'm only got out of bed this morning because I was like, I cannot miss the chance to meet Cliff because I know you and Lawrence know each other, but we have
Yes.
never met. So just forgive anything I say because I'm a little feverish and weird from the vaccines. I know.
Well, I'm feverish and weird every single day,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
we're completely fine. You're not gonna have a problem, and I'm sorry, like, I'm adjusting on the fly here because it took me so long to, like, I don't know, Substack still does this weird stuff, and I'm used to the shows, that I do, I'm used to being the one who invites people. It's been a
Right.
while,
right.
like, since I was so, I was, like, looking everywhere. I'm like, "Where is this thing?" And, it was in the where it was supposed to be and couldn't find it. Was searching underneath, sofa
Yeah.
cushions, found some, some extra change, but no invite. Out looking out the window, up in the sky,
Yeah.
No
contemplating
invite
life,
there.
but nowhere. But then, like magic, Substack decided on they would let Lawrence invite me. So
Yeah.
here I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah,
Well,
we always
sorry about
have
that, man. Part of that is my fault. I
Dude,
created the live last night and should have like sent you the link immediately. And I was like, no, I'll send it to him tomorrow morning.
there's no you being sorry for, I'm not dissing Substack, but I'm just saying it's a Substack issue. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
No,
happened
I
to me
was.
on my show before where I'm going to try to adjust this a little bit because you guys shouldn't be seeing that light behind me. That kind of looks stupid. But I'm trying to like trying to, do it. And like, I'm sitting there 15 minutes and it's like, you'll be off, by like, an apostrophe or whatever on the handle, and it won't give you like ideas and say, "Oh, you may be looking for this." Like you just
Right.
can't find unless you. So I assumed something. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Whatever. We're here,
So
baby. We're
I'm
here.
so glad
you're
that you're
here
here.
now. You're here now. Cliff, for those in the chat who don't know you, would you do us the honor of like introducing yourself, tell folks who you are and what you're about?
Well, it started a long time ago. Sadly, 53 years ago. I hit my teens. I started running drugs for the CIA.
No. Yeah.
I okay. The serious background is somehow during high school, college, got interested in politics. I started to do all that stuff, work on campaigns, worked on Clinton's second campaign as a pup, and from there went into the crazy world after I went to grad school in international affairs and did some work in that arena too at the State Department, other places. And I became a Democratic consultant for a long time and worked on a lot on issues like gun safety with every town for gun safety at that point.
Oh,
Every
I'm
time.
a donor.
All right. I loved working. I mean, every town was a great experience kind of building their digital PR department back when it was like, what's digital PR?
Right.
There's
Right.
this new thing called the Huffington Post. Should we go on there? And a lot of other, clients you'd guess, from pro-choice. Gee, I worked for Planned Parenthood and NARAL. I'm, and that kind of thing. And then I always was a writer though, and was, frustrated and wanted to do more of that. So on the side, I would kind of, dabble in that. And I ended up writing eventually a column for the Guardian and one for the Daily Beast. And then started a YouTube channel. Thought, hey, I'll try this Substack thing. It blew up beyond kind of my wildest imagination because I was dumb enough or crazy enough to have a 12-hour live stream during which somehow we landed Heather Cox Richardson. Somehow I got a friend of mine I met through environmental work I did, Phil Collin, the guitarist of Def Leppard, to come on and play a couple of bars to
Oh
pour
my
some sugar
God.
on me.
Nice.
Um,
I love I have a deep love of Def Leppard that goes way. I know exactly who Phil Collin is. Not Phil
well,
Collins.
no,
It was
not Phil
very
Collins.
confusing.
Phil Collins is the one who went vegan and is like in his mid 60s and in better shape than anybody I know. Like still goes shirtless when he's playing stuff, and he's ripped like crazy and the nicest guy in the world. He
There's
agreed to
one
come
right
on and do
now.
it.
He was always hot, so I got to see
I
what he
mean,
looks like.
he's awesome, is what he is. He's a great guy, and so
Oh my
it went.
God.
It's ridiculous considering you wouldn't guess he was in his 60s at all, and it just went super viral, and we had this huge audience, and I was like, holy crap, what do I do with it now that I have it? And thankfully, along the way, met some people like Frederick Pogue, and who introduced me to Lawrence. I was able to bring people smarter than me on in all sorts of ways. To make Blant Media hopefully something that produces a better product. And I'm missing one of the big ones along the way. I got lucky enough to become friends with, a decade and a half ago with David Schecter, who's honestly one of the just greatest guys in the world. And,
Such a nice
you
guy.
know, oh my gosh, again, same guy on camera as off. Like there's a period in time where he hosted his own show. He filled in for Oberman, he filled in for Matthews, and all that won an Emmy, and you'd never know any of that stuff. And so it's the team, like this thing just took off. And so I still do consulting when somebody comes to me and I decide it's worth it, an issue. And if I were doing anything, not long ago and on and off, I've done some stuff to sort of, not that I feel like this is a disclosure here that's going to change anything we talk about, but um, fighting back against Armenian genocide, now committed by the Azerbaijanis who've attacked certain Armenian enclaves. And um, we don't, I don't know, we don't talk enough about it, and it pisses me off because obviously there's a lot of talk about Israel and Palestine, and there's a
Yeah.
pretty good amount of talk about Russia, and Ukraine. Not that obviously there aren't a lot of people hurt, injured who deserve to be talked about in those places, but then there's places that like our media just or whoever our people get not interested in at all. And here
Right.
we have like a group of people that went through a genocide, a century ago, and you're being attacked again. And so that is something that I work on and off on. But otherwise, like I'm sorry this took way too long, but I'm more now
No,
in
man,
the
this is all
media
good.
sphere. Like I'm a writer, I'm a whatever. Oh, I did write a book on John McCain, which is back here somewhere, the real McCain, about
Oh
when
yeah.
I got pissed when I thought he was a good moderate Republican and he threw it all away to embrace Karl Rove and all of them in 2008. So, it's like I was on two tracks for a long time, the marketing, PR, consulting side of politics and the writing side. And they always clashed because I always was really interested in both. It seems like for now, the writing and presenting and all that side has won out. I'm really happy doing all this here and YouTube and wherever else
Yeah.
they'll have me. So
Yeah, and full disclosure to everybody, I should note that I'm working with Cliff on Blue Ant Media and Frederick Pogue and David Schuster, uh, and it's been a couple of weeks, Cliff, and I feel like we've hit the ground running, and we rolled out a brand redesign for Blue Ant Media. It's been a ton of
done by
fun.
Lawrence.
It's been a ton of fun, and I really I think that what you have got over there with David Schuster and Frederick, and the platform that you've built, the way that you and David have this great chemistry and are able to just kind of interview anybody and have a good time, and the way that you write and address the issues of the day, it's super solid. It's exactly the kind of voice we need right now, and so I'm
Oh,
really,
thank you. That's really
yeah,
nice of you,
happy to
man.
be working with you. And so
One of our
just
theme
so
this week, isn't it, Lawrence? We had Julie Roginski on yesterday, and I'm
right,
getting this
right. Yeah,
deja vu of like these are the independent voices that we need.
It's funny
yeah,
because
Putting on this.
I actually happened to just be talking to her earlier, and I was like, I need to go on, and she said, oh, I was on yesterday, and saw that in what you had sent out. I don't remember, I was on something where I couldn't watch yesterday, and yeah, she's fantastic. So,
She,
um, definitely voices. We need her voice out there. Through all these sort of independent media, if we are the more we are out there, and I feel like guys can tell me what you think, but I don't know why I'm asking you questions. You should be asking me
no,
questions, but
no, it's
okay,
good, man.
but
We're
in
we're
super
all
cash
engineers.
here. This is the Daily Whatever Show. We're
yeah,
just
which I love
we
that
kind
name,
of,
by the way. That's so right on, the daily whatever, because that's our lives these days.
yeah,
Um, but it's just I do feel like it's breaking through. Um, I don't know
Yeah,
if it's the fact that we had the No Kings March was amazing, and if they counted 7 million, there were more than 7 million out there. How many more, I don't know,
right.
but like they never have an accurate count on that kind of thing. It is always underestimated. Um, and I had a few people here and there who knew who I was from the Substack, and even one or two people that were of the Republican independent variety. And it's like, I mean, that feels the best in the world. It's like we're reaching them. And look, I mean, my style, when I get pissed, I admit it, there's a lot of multisyllabic, dashed insults that I create
Yeah,
for
you drop F bombs, which
I do.
you can do here too. We
yeah.
say fuck all the
Well,
time.
I drop f bombs, but I also, like I will call someone a congealed pile of fecal matter on top of what I mean. I come up with whatever creative thing I'm thinking because I look at writing as an art form, but I get nasty sometimes. I admit it because the people who are out there who are in bad faith to me your JD Vance. I mean, you're just absolute liars. Ted Cruz, the whole crew. I can't have any respect for, and I won't treat with a modicum of respect or dignity because they don't deserve it. But I do try to sort of like when it comes to people who have changed their minds, embrace them. I do when it comes to people who are open minded about stuff. I mean, one of the people that's become one of probably my best friends doing this, stuff is Joe Walsh. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 years ago we were insulting each other on Twitter. I mean, it's a weird world out there, but my point is it's not that my hope is that humor breaks through. David and I, what you said, I love to hear, just that we enjoy doing it, that comes through, and the writing, that it's sort of a labor of love, and it's satire, some of it, it's whatever, but I try to make serious points, and hopefully, like, every time somebody like that walks up to me, I'm like, maybe I convinced somebody, or maybe I made them think, or maybe I made somebody who said to me, like, I didn't agree with you on everything, but maybe laugh, so I read it, and you made some good points, and I'm like, well, then the humor did what it was supposed to do,
Right.
besides giving me a catharsis.
Right. Right.
So,
Besides making you feel better, it actually made someone stop and think about your point.
right.
And that's what we're trying to do is break through kind of in any way that we possibly can. Yeah.
And so right, and so and look, and I think I don't take credit, or I mean I think Jim Acosta coming over here is a huge part of it. And people with established corporate media reputations who have left and come here, I think, have hugely helped it because it's meant like the people, the New York Times media section, or Mediaite or places like that now cover stuff that goes on here, and
Right.
whatever. And so then you start getting out there to people, and I think that we can make a difference. So let's
Yeah.
do it.
I completely agree with you that Substack, independent media in general, and Substack at the moment in particular, are rising to the occasion. And I think it's a combination of factors. I think it's both that career journalists are either getting fired or they're leaving for ethical reasons. And this is where they're coming. So you have this sort of top down approach. And then from the bottom up, there's this groundswelling of citizen journalists,
Yep.
people like Lawrence and me, who are like, hey, we've always wanted to do this. There's now a tool that makes it so simple.
Right.
And here we all are in the same moment in time with a shared goal. And I think that the output is this both incredible community of people, but also this like place to stay super informed.
Yep.
I mean, I follow Erin in the morning. You probably do too. If you don't, you should. She reports on trans-related issues, and
Yeah.
I read a publication for parenting gender nonconforming kids. She was the first person she and Frederick, I think, were the first two people I paid on Substack because she knew everything half a step before the media, and she was
Right.
always right about all
Right.
the executive orders coming in, all of it, like boots on the ground and like doing the work. I find this time really exciting, and I think that um, institutions like Blue Ant Media are going to be the future of where news goes. Which I'm segueing here, Lawrence. Of like maybe now I'm going to ask Cliff, but Lawrence, you can weigh in too. What exactly is Blue Ant Media, and how is it kind of differentiated from some of the other folks out there on Substack and beyond?
I don't know. It's a great question. I think Lawrence sort of alluded to some of it already. Thankfully, he helped us with our rebrand because I think it was when we were just sort of Blue Amp. I don't know that told the story. Like, hey, Amplify Blue, that's great, but not everybody gets that who doesn't understand exactly what Blue means or Amp. I think Blue Amp Media. I mean, obviously, right away, people know that we're a media organization. They know that how do we differentiate ourselves? I would say that you can see so much. There's a wide variety of interesting stuff, and it all fits under a similar rubric, which is, we are Democrats. Democrats are the party that of FDR, are the party that gave us our modern state that the Republicans are trying to destroy right now. But we will criticize leadership and often have when they are weak and they don't do what they need to be doing. I've called for new leaders many times, and
Yeah.
probably they would accept my phone calls there, but I don't call, so it doesn't really matter. And at the same time, reserved for the fact that what we make sure that it's about what the word liberal, I guess, originally meant, which was open, transparent,
Right.
logic, reason, it's about a democracy, a republic, and So I am liberal as in a liberal guy on issues, but for us, it's the fight for democracy, the dignity of democracy,
Mhm.
and its relationship to our economy. Because the same billionaires who are destroying democracy are taking everything away from us economically, right? So
Yeah.
how do we do it? Well, we try to message intelligently through writing and through live streams. We have a show every Thursday called it used to be called Amped Up with Cliff Schecter. I like to leave that part off just because now I'm just called Amped Up because Schuster is on. David Schuster's there with me, and it's you know it's a great experience. But what we're doing is we're trying to communicate strength to Democrats, a fight to Democrats, the ability to mock and use satire to win people over, and to de-brand, if you will, and destroy the brand of MAGA, which they're doing a great job destroying themselves. But every time somebody doesn't explain exactly who they are, from a mafiosa conglomerate to a group of criminal traders to whatever it is, then you're failing when you treat them with the slightest bit of dignity or respect. They're nothing but an attack on everything that's decent, nothing but an attack on our form of government, on our beliefs, on how we wish to raise our kids. And so I know I said a lot there, but if I really were going to message it, I would simply say multimedia, independent media. We support independent media, some of it with some grants and other stuff, which I can get into. So
Yeah.
multimedia, independent media, messaging first, and humor.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And really like finding unique voices and elevating and amplifying them, right? Like so
Yep.
friends of the Daily Whatever show, like Melissa Corrigan and Marlon Weems have been on Amped Up with you and
Yeah.
David.
Yep.
And you recently had Wayne Besson who talked about the Project 2025 stuff and kind of how far along that is.
Yep.
Your friend Greg Landsman, who's one of the representatives from the Cincinnati
Yep.
area, right?
Yep. Congressman from it's Ohio one is the district right here. Yep.
Yep, and Fred Wellman, right, who's a former Lincoln Square Lincoln Project guy who's
Yep.
now running for the Missouri Second. So, like a real cross section of people, and just kind of giving them a place where they can, hang out and give their message in a comfortable setting with you and David Schuster. Like you guys always find a way to laugh and make it fun. And I think that's really important because it humanizes people and allows them to kind of really, see the people behind the story.
Well, thank you. I mean, so I'm glad it works. You sometimes hear people like, I couldn't do it any other way. And, I was a really shitty staffer on campaigns because, and I worked on a bunch of them because I was a better consultant because I didn't have to deal with, but if somebody was, being ridiculously stupid about something and then I'm supposed to pledge my fealty, I was never very good at that. Um, I was never, I wasn't, I'm not a orders taker without asking questions, um, which I don't apologize for, but it doesn't make you the best employee of organizations.
Right.
So like there are a whole bunch of things that I'm not good at. And if you wanted me to be your chemist, I'd blow the lab up.
Right.
But humor is something I
No,
always
no
search
Walter
for.
White for you.
No. I could never make the really like the light blue stuff. Mine would probably come out dark brown. Um, so I mean, I'm of the like I'm just like I'm going. I go 100 miles per hour. I believe in not doing stuff with everything you've got or not doing it at all.
Right.
I love humor, so it makes it really something that I search for in everything. Even when we've got tense moments because there are terrible things happening. And I do get very serious at times. And I've said this numerous times that if you look at people rappel onto a fucking building in Chicago and
Yeah.
take a bunch of kids away from their parents in the hall and zip tie them, and you don't hate those motherfuckers who did that with every ounce of your being, I don't understand who you are.
Right.
I don't
Right.
understand how you're human.
Yeah. I don't
Um,
even want to
Yeah.
know you. Right.
right.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to say that we have a lot of serious stuff, but I have to find humor wherever I can because again, like to me, it's catharsis. It's a part of communicating and connecting with people. It's a part of when it's mockery and satire, showing the weakness in Republicans. They hate it. They hated sort of the dancing frogs and the whatever. Why? Because it showed they're a joke. They're weak.
Joy.
Right. And so I tried, right, joy. They were, oh my God, I made you for a Substack I was in today, tomorrow, whatever, just put a compilation of the utterly fucking ridiculous things Republicans said about, like, they're laughable. They hate America. They're members of Hamas. They're, aging hippies. That one by Claudia Tenney. I like that one. Yes. I didn't see anybody young out there at all. It was all aging hippies.
Right.
Even though when they were,
aging
even though,
hippies, there were a lot of aging hippies at mine, and like more power to them. They were like literally people in walkers.
oh no, and I'm not saying. Listen, I love aging hippies. It's just it's not an accurate portrayal of there were aging hippies there, and there were kids
like,
there, and there was everything in between. It's just
that's the thing. Like, sorry, I don't mean to jump
you
in.
go ahead.
I do want to jump in and say one thing that you got a really nice. You've got lots of nice comments. We have a very active comment section, and I want to read this one from Gloria, who says, "I think that you're making a huge difference, and I'm so glad that you are on Substack. Unfortunately, the main media aren't going to be reporting the news that's happening in the moment." And I'm learning that the main media are relying on Substack for news. So I do think there's some truth in that they're watching what's happening here and reporting it back out. I mean, how could they not?
Thank you, Gloria. I appreciate that.
So, Cliff, you kind of alluded to this, right? That part of Blue Amp's mission is, elevating other voices, and you all implemented this thing called the Soundcheck Fund. And I was just wondering if you could kind of tell folks about it. I pulled up the list of the recent winners here, but let people know what's going on there.
Yeah, I appreciate you giving me that opportunity. So, I mean, I've been one who's complaining. I've got, if you follow what I do, I did bring up, I go after Republicans. I try to bolster strong Democrats who speak out. And when Democrats are wimpy or still act like, we're in the 1980s or something, I mean, Chuck Schumer, I've said 15 billion times, Chris Murphy should be sitting in that seat right now. He's incredible. He was the one who was sitting there saying, funding, why am I going to fund a government that's going to hunt me down, that's going to harass my family, those are the words I want to hear. Lately, I'll give credit, Jeffries has been better. Maybe somebody got to him and said, stop with the bullshit. Stop with the saying, when Trump says Democrats aren't Americans, don't respond by saying, we'd love to talk to Donald Trump about affordable housing. We need affordable housing, but how about he says we're not Americans? I think a guy that went bankrupt 5 fucking times, who can't find a way to make a casino work where people literally hand you money, who has like probably something like 50 to 60% of his shell companies buying his fucking condos are Russians, who spent, so much time over there kissing Putin's ass. I'm surprised his lips aren't chapped and he doesn't speak Russian. Okay, I'll stop. Point being,
man, like we're here for it.
I mean, you respond and you hit back, and the Swalwells and the Crockett's and the people of that ilk who do that are the ones who should be leading. And so, strong Democrats, because the strong and populist wing of the Democratic Party is where we are going to take this country back if we are able to, not weak. Let's get along with the people that hate us and want to put us in concentration camps. Shit. I go after corporate media constantly, probably why I don't get many invites anymore. Don't give a fuck. I used to do all that MSNBC, CNN shit. Hell, I was paid by Sinclair for a year to go on air. And it was fun because right-wingers are dumb. And I got to argue with them. And I'd be like, bring on more. Give me 3 I can take on, not because I'm so tough, because you're so bad. But I'm going to call them out constantly because they're not actual press as it was in the First Amendment. They literally are. It's about shareholder value. It's about increasing CEO pay. They fuck over everything that is their mission. And so people are like, Trump sounds kind of bad, but I've heard Kamala's bad. People that don't have the time, who are working 3 jobs, and they vote for, they don't end up knowing the difference really, and they say Trump seems like the lesser of 2 evils. I put all of that in our corporate media, because if they could just share that thing of him, that plane dropping shit on all of us, and have no commentary. Just show people every day on things like the Today Show and The View and whatever that's going on, and people would have more of an idea. So that's where I get to the Soundcheck Fund, which is Substack is growing. It's the main platform that we've wanted to support people on, but there's some TikTokers in there who are doing a great job there. I hope that can still continue with Andreessen climbing aboard and polluting it with his stink. there are people who are big on YouTube. I mean, we have a decent sized YouTube. We're in six figures. We're not huge, but I'm going to stay there, even though I make sure people know I will not hide from insulting them the way I insult corporate media. They got rid of the app to track ICE. They Googled it. They kissed Trump's ass and gave him $25 million. So fuck them. As far as don't be evil, shove it up your ass. You're evil.
Right.
You know what?
You have to accept that all the platform owners, like
Yes.
lesser of many evils. There isn't none of the dominant platforms are being run by progressives.
No, and that's why that's a third group of people. I mean, what are the fucking billionaires or anybody with any money doing on our side? Are they more worried that their taxes are going to go up than a democracy? So they don't want to get too. I mean, I don't know what it is, but they have to get it at this point. The right took us from a place that was not that much to the right of Western Europe in the 70s, and look at where we are now. Clearly, taking over cultural stuff works. So if billionaires aren't going to do it, I'm not a billionaire, not even close. I can't give people $100,000 grants.
I thought you said we got a billionaire on the show.
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry.
Actually, it's great talking to you.
I know. Leave. We had one on our show actually, and he was kind of an ass, but that's a different story. Were you around for that, Lawrence? When we had him on?
I wasn't. No.
Yeah, he's a Democrat running for governor in California, and he's interesting. He was a weird connection. We had him on, and a lot of it was bragging about himself. It was kind of funny, but my whole thing is I will do what little I can do. So, we do have a decent number of paid subscriptions, which is great. We have people coming in and doing that. So I decided I can't just complain and not be part of the solution. Sort of like I can't sit there on my sofa. There's somebody. Oh yes, that guy from California. Karen Mary Shelton, yeah, his name's Klubeck or something of that nature. Watch a video with him and you'll find it funny. So I have to be out here talking and writing. I can't just be complaining and marching on No King's Day and stuff like that. Well, I felt sort of, the same way here. I'm complaining that they're not doing anything. Well, then I have to have skin in the game.
Yeah.
So we took what was I don't like saying specific stuff. It sounds kind of gauche, but just to give you an idea, it was a 5-figure sum of money, and said, we're going to take this and we're going to put it into a fund called the Soundcheck Fund. And what we're going to do is we realize that we can't help people the way a billionaire can cut a check. But like, I'm lucky enough that I can afford these lights that are here right now. I can afford a camera that's sitting over there. That I'm not doing Substack, which of course we have to be on a phone, but when I'm doing other things that I do, often I'm on that camera. A $500 or $1,000 grant can mean everything to somebody who can't buy a camera so they can get out top-notch video, who can't get the lights, who can't, get a microphone, a top-notch microphone.
Yep.
So we're like, you know what? We may not be able to do what they can do, but we can give $500 or $1,000 grants to just lift up voices and help them along, and we can promote them. And we've been trying to plan that. We're going to try to get them, you and I talked about it. If you're willing to have some of these folks on the show, we
want them. Yeah.
We'd love
we're going to have them on our show. It's just, we're always, we need to, we're growing quickly, and we hadn't, added Lawrence and Frederick and whatever, and Veronica, doesn't go on air, but behind the scenes is amazing. Like, I just be hiding under my desk with my hands on my head, like probably rocking back and forth. So even with these guys and gals here, it's still a huge challenge. So like, I can't get around still to half the stuff I want to do.
Right.
But I'm so glad that we're growing. So this will be my pitch to people. We're at blueamp.co. If you come and you get a paid subscription, I believe we're at 20% off for No King's Day right now.
20% off for No King's Day. Yeah.
That money helps fund, the only reason I don't say we give all of it is, I do have to pay Lawrence and, people like that. So, we do actually have staff who work hard, but a chunk of that, whatever we can, will go to the Soundcheck Fund. And if anybody who doubted it, we've already given out 5 checks, and we have a plan for 5 more that we're going to announce. And if I find one of those donors that gives us 10,000, 25,000, whatever it might be, that will go into the Soundcheck fund, and we'll give it to that many more. So if you're out there, you got 10 grand. I mean, I know. If you're out there and you want to find Hillary's email, I'm just kidding.
Right. Russia, if
But
you're listening, give me 10
exactly.
grand.
But I mean, yeah, exactly. Putin, if you're listening, give me 10 grand so I can give that money to people who know that you're a fucking murderer and a genocidal maniac. And as much as you try to make up for the fact that you're 5'2", you're 5'2". Okay. So, and I'm not a tall person, so anybody wants to get on me about that. The thing
I want to repeat something that you said and underline it because I'm so excited about this. That we want to bring we are bringing the Soundcheck winners to the Daily Whatever show. Schedules aren't set yet, but these folks, I think there are 5 of them, right? You said 5.
There are 5 so far.
Yes. I'm putting the link into the chat, and
I just added it. Okay.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. So Gabe Sanchez, who he writes What Was That? A satirical news show. And he has his own website. If you go to the link, you can see all these. A group called Organizer Memes that primarily does their stuff on Twitter, which I refuse to call X.
Dead name.
Yep.
Dead
It's
name
always Twitter. Fuck that weirdo, AI-driven loser.
Yeah, seriously. Mackenzie Ortiz, who is primarily a TikTok creator. Araya Bolaños Pereira, who is a Spanish-speaking communicator, whose work is also mostly on TikTok. And then Gina Di Vittorio, who is another TikTok creator. So really what I like about this is you're not just focusing it on Substack, you're going cross-platform.
Yes.
Really looking for people who are effective at getting the message out.
Well, what I'm doing is I'm looking at places, and Twitter may be the exception there. But I think Organizer Memes has the ability to go beyond Twitter. Twitter's the only one I worry about because obviously Musk, I don't do as much as I used to there. I've lost, I think, a quarter of my followers there because he can suppress what you do.
Right.
I won't leave any platform unless I'm like, well, if they make it so nobody can see anything I'm doing, they can control it. Like when people say, don't go on Joe Rogan. No, go on Joe Rogan and show people Joe Rogan doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Right. You know what I mean? And now actually on the few things he's saying on, go on and be like, thank you for being sane on those things. Because that's what we need to do. We can't, the purity, people that are purity about this, you need to form an electoral coalition. You're never going to agree with everybody on everything. I agree with that AI Himmler at Twitter on nothing. He's a fucking Nazi. All right? He heiled Hitler. I don't know why there was even a debate after that.
Seriously.
But it was just an old Roman. Yeah, I've studied Roman history, fucker. They had something that was somewhat different than that.
He's just neurodivergent. They just accidentally all the neurodivergent.
Right. We don't understand. Yeah. No.
I think they call it in his case. It's not neuro. I think in his case they call it neurodickvergent is what they call it. But in any case, sorry. I'm still me. I can't help it.
You don't need to apologize.
Yeah, dude, I can't tell you how welcome that kind of thing is here. We really, literally don't.
Well, what do we have left? We got 20 minutes, so motherfucker, I'm gonna get going.
Unleash. You're free.
But I mean, when it comes to that concerned me, but obviously, Organizer Memes is so talented that I think it can be a multi-platform threat. Otherwise, I'm looking for. Look, do I think that YouTube promotes lefties as much as righties? Probably not. But so far, I don't think they have not given into the, there are some people that obviously have huge platforms there. They haven't given into the sort of suppression. I mean, over the last, I hadn't been putting a lot up there and then I started putting some more up there. And over the last, I want to say 5-6 weeks, we were at about 123,000 and we're at about 153 now. I mean, we grew. So I know it's possible to still grow there. So I want to support people doing work there. I know it's still possible to grow big on TikTok because we got some friends there who are doing really well. So on the and again, will Andreessen change that? We'll see. But on the places where we can really grow, then I want to invest in people on those platforms. And my hope is they'll go on all of them. And I get it. There are some people who won't go on Twitter because for their reasons. And I'm going to not be purity police and judge people on that. You have a right to decide. I will go on there and I will promote the Substack that we do and YouTube we do. My compromise with Twitter is I will do that because hopefully those things can reach a few people. I will not on a platform where I know he's suppressing my voice go and share all these ideas that he's just going to monetize. Yeah. I'm going to save that for the places we've been able to successfully monetize, which are Substack and YouTube. But others who've done TikTok, and again, I'm missing some others who are doing some great stuff on Instagram. Zucker's a little bitchy incel, and I can't fucking stand him. And to me, the picture will always be of him with his fucking face completely white with that goddamn stuff on there. He looks like the biggest dork. I mean, talk about a guy that basically started a misinformation machine because he couldn't get a girl to say yes to him on a date. I mean, these little fucking incels are destroying the world. But in any case, Instagram, there are still some people on the left who have great, huge accounts. I don't do much there. So I'm not talking about me. So yeah, I will support people there. I mean, we really have to embrace that we're willing to do whatever it takes anywhere. Obviously, podcasters who have podcast networks, whatever it may be. So I mean, look, I would love it, and we've told people they can come back for seconds. Like, I'm not gonna be like, we gave you a grant, no more. I'd love it to be more than 500 or 1,000.
Yeah.
I also don't want to run out of the thing in 2 months. So right now we can afford to give out grants of 500 or 1,000 and keep this going for a bit.
Yeah.
But what I'm hoping is, if again, lamp.co, if you go in, if people get paid subscriptions, we can put more money in there. If donors come in and give us more money for it, we will grow it. I'd love to give people five. It's never going to be like hey, here's a $50,000. I mean, I don't think so. Unless Mark Cuban suddenly calls me. But I think that you're looking. I think my goal, like, if there could be a point where we give people $5,000 checks, something that like legit would be like you can set up a whole thing, maybe even hire somebody hourly, part time to help you for however long you need it, that kind of thing. That would be amazing. But we're just not there yet. I'm hoping we get there.
Do you know what Sonic Guild is? Have you ever heard of the Profit Sonic Guild?
I've heard of it, but I can't tell you that I know what they do.
There's an Austin chapter. There's a Seattle chapter where I live. It's music. It's not politics, but it's a really similar idea. And they sell I'm trying to think of how they do this. They sell a paid membership. I think for an individual, it's like $750. It's not for a year. It's not cheap, but it's not crazy for people with money. And when you buy it, you get to see all of their shows. Like, you get tickets to all of their concerts. But they take applications, and then every year they give 8 to 10, I think, bands or musicians in that area a $10,000 check. That's their thing.
Oh my God! Now you're speaking my language, because
and I
love music,
and they've elevated some really great bands in Seattle, because that's enough money to like get your recordings done, right, or to go on a tour to help get you kick started. I know the executive director up here. If you ever want to talk to him, I feel like.
So if I start, I've got my son my son who's a singer and a drummer. He doesn't do the night. He doesn't do the Night Ranger thing and do it at the same time, because that's a little weird. And he's got it. It'll shock you. He's very outgoing. He got it. Obviously, must have gotten it from his mom. So he's got it. So he's up on the front of the stage, and he loves interacting with the crowd when he's singing. And then he'll go back and back to his roots and drum for a few songs, do whatever. But so I guess I was only saying that, like, maybe I'll reach out to him. Like, I'll be like, can he send you his music, and can you think of giving him a $10,000 grant? That would be outstanding.
I think you have to be local to one of the cities that has a Sonic Guild chapter, but
I'll have to look up those cities, and maybe we'll get them to move there.
I was going to say, Cliff, I have a feeling you're going to be starting one in Cincinnati.
I know, Sonic Guild tomorrow. So
there might be one there. I don't know, but yeah, I founded a music website here in Seattle back in the day, so pretty.
Okay, well, now I really like knowing you, because now I know you're into music too. You're even cooler than I thought you were.
Oh my gosh!
And we have,
if that's possible.
Our last question, when we get to the end of the show, Cliff, is going to be about music. So we're hanging that out there as a tantalizing foreshadowing.
Cool. I mean, because you all may notice that in the things that I do, I will often quote bands or do stuff. I brought up and when I get to, like, I'm such a fanboy. Like, I mean, I had to sort of call myself when I met Phil Collin. I'd be like, I'm like, I want to tell him, like, I grew up on, like, Pyromania was an early memory where I was like, oh my God, that is fucking amazing.
I know every word to that record.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys, if it's the right place, if you both are into them, and we can figure it out, when he's here in town, I get backstage passes. So keep in mind.
Make that happen, my friend.
I will fly to Cincinnati to go meet Joe Elliott and Phil Collins.
And Joe Elliott, I don't know the way I know Phil, but I got to meet him, and he's a terrific guy too. But the other one,
Some back in the day too.
I mean, the only other one I got to meet who I just is just such the nicest guy, and this was on the anti-genocide campaign around Armenia, was Serge Tankian, the lead singer of System of a Down, because they're Armenian American, and he was and so he was helped getting us a lot of press, and he's so passionate and cares so much, and is such a fucking terrific guy. And so we got lucky on that one too, where I mean, forget got lucky. I'm honored that I got to work with him, on that. The side luck of it was, they were in Chicago. They did a series of shows at Soldier Field there in Chicago. Now it's about a month, 6 weeks ago, and we've been doing this work together for 2-3 years, and I'd never met him. And I grabbed my older son, the rocker, and we were able to go over there and get backstage, and that was incredible too. I love. I mean, rock and roll. You can go from 60s rock and roll to folk to like new metal to hard rock to pop rock from the 80s to, I mean, there's rap, rap a whole bunch that I like, even if it's not my main genre. Hell, I used to even be somebody who was somewhat, not a country fan, and a few of those folks have won me over. I mean, the conservatism around a lot of that music keeps me away. But I'm like, hey, fuck it. Tim McGraw is as liberal as hell and keeps saying that he wants to run as a Democrat for governor of Tennessee. There's only probably one Democrat. Well, there's two, him and his wife, of course. And I shouldn't even refer to her that way. But like, any Democrats ever could win the governorship of Tennessee, it would be. So I'm not closed-minded, and certain, especially country rock or rockabilly, because, I love some of the Waylon Jennings stuff, older stuff, and I love, obviously, the Man in Black. How do you not love Johnny Cash? So I mean, music is so important to me, and I try to. I mean, you'll have a quote at the beginning of certain pieces from. It could be anything from. I did the other day. It was like, "We're not going to take it." Because if you actually read through that, everything in the lyrics, when they were playing that at shows, Dee Snider was like, "Listen," this was his quote. He was something like, "Just so you motherfuckers know, the guy who wrote this is a vegan, half-Jew libtard who hates every fucking thing you guys stand for, and will fight you till the end." So, and I was like, I love you, Dee Snider.
I love Dee Snider, and he still has all that hair.
He does. It's awesome. So, like the lyrics, and if you listen to it, obviously, like, gee, he really was hiding what that was about when, he chose to have Niedermeyer from fucking Animal House in the video as the bad guy. But like, it's such an anti-fascism sort of anthem, and that the right was grabbing it and playing it as they often do. Like, reminds you of Paul Ryan working out to Rage Against the Machine, and Tom Morello was like,
"Oh my God,
has he ever listened to our music? Because he's the machine. We're talking about him.
The machine that we rage against."
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah. I did not understand the assignment.
Okay. I feel like we've got to ask the question early. So we always like to ask people, especially other Gen X folks, what is the ultimate Gen X song of all time?
Oh my God. Wow.
No wrong answers.
There are no wrong answers, and if you give more than one, because
it's not that I'm worried about a wrong answer. It's more there's just so much good stuff to choose from.
Right.
I am going to go with. Okay, so there's an answer of what I think was like such a Gen X song because we all listened to it and blared it, but didn't have a lot of meaning to it necessarily, or the meaning of it, which would be "Dancing in the Dark." I mean, I'd pick something like by like Springsteen.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing.
Video.
It really is. If I'm going to be sort of biased about it, in some ways, like I love, to me, which feels so Gen X, "You May Be Right" by Billy Joel.
Oh,
right.
Nice.
You may be right. I may be crazy. He's talking about all the crazy shit that he's doing. I rode my motorcycle in the rain. I love it. He's like, I walked through Bedford-Stuy alone, which is hilarious because now Bedford-Stuy has like $2 million houses. But back then, it was like where "Do the Right Thing" was filmed. It was one of the most statistically dangerous areas in the country. That song, just because of Billy Joel, leather jacket, like, I may be right. You may be right. I may be crazy. Sorry,
just may be a lunatic.
I just may be yeah. So
great picks. Nobody has ever
picked. This is an awesome pick, man. That is a really, really good one.
Well, I wanted to think of one that represented what we kind of are as Gen X, right? We're sort of like fuck off and leave us alone and stop, boomers stop telling us that all the shit you're handing us, which is essentially debt in Vietnam and AIDS and everything. Like we're paying all the checks. We're paying the price. You guys fucking wrote the checks and we gotta and now we gotta pay the debt for it.
Yep.
I'm sure, of course, generations since that way feel that way about us too. But at that time, so
We're the
that's why I was,
first one now. We are the start of the decline. We're
we
the
are.
fulcrum generation.
Yeah.
And,
I
and
will
that's why
layer on
maybe I was
because
going to, oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Sorry.
oh, I was just gonna say, I love your song picks, and I would layer in my friend Stuart Mason, who's a great music writer, writes for one of my publications on Medium. We have discussed that "Photograph" by Def Leppard is possibly kind of the greatest rock, like top 40 song ever written. Like it's hard, it's kind of unfuckwithable. There's just
It is
it's a perfect
outstanding.
song. Yeah.
And I mean that riff, and when they start doing it, and I get goosebumps because I've been lucky enough to now see it live like 8 times,
Oh
and
my God.
it never gets any worse. It only gets better. And
Yeah.
you're right. And like also, again, about a little bit of an earlier generation, about Marilyn Monroe and whatever. But the Marilyn Monroe like iconography was still out there when we were
Oh, it
growing
was
up in the
huge when
70s
we
and
were young.
80s. It was
Yeah.
still everywhere. A lot of her movie, I remember as a kid watching Some Like It Hot, I don't know how many times with my parents,
Sure.
which was funny, right? Lawrence, you think about it, because back then they were like, oh my God, guys that dressed like women. And
Right.
now we're just like, yeah, and, but it was, but in some ways it broke some ground, in some ways the end of that movie, it's like, I have to be honest with you, I'm really a man. And the dude's like, nobody's perfect. A great
Sure.
final line to a movie. So Marilyn Monroe was certainly there for, even if she had passed on, especially depending what part I don't think you guys are, well, I don't know if you're similar age. I mean, I'm right smack in the middle.
Us
Gen
too.
X is 65 to 80.
Yeah.
I'm like at the very end of 71.
Okay. We're
So
70. So yeah.
70. So
So we're
one of
pretty
us.
much in the
One of
middle.
us.
Same deal, pretty much in the middle of it. So, there are some early Gen Xers that can remember shit like the earliest ones, like, seeing us go to the moon, which I wasn't alive for. And
Right.
some of the ones who were born the latest who are close, sort of almost border on millennial in some ways. But I'm kind of feel like being in the middle there. Most of the Gen X stuff rings true with me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could tell
Yeah.
from
For us
your
too.
song picks that you were right around our age because we've come to find there's the early, mid, and late Gen Xers. The late Gen Xers pick stuff from the 90s.
Right.
Cranberries
Right.
or Nirvana.
Yep.
But to us, that's like we were young adults already, so it hits differently. And yeah, I think the songs from when we were younger
Well,
hit a bit harder.
thank you. I mean, if I went a little bit later, I was thinking about a few other things.
Yeah.
If I went a little bit later in the decade, like I could find something like, "Welcome to the Jungle" or something of that nature, which I think about the the life of isolation and ever going out to a place like the jungle of LA and trying to make it.
Yeah.
Or I could even pop over to Pearl Jam,
Yes.
and I mean, sadly, I think Jeremy presaged a lot of shit that we've seen since. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's obviously even flow. I mean, Black. I mean, I could pick one of their songs. There's a lot that I could have gone with. I felt like those were two good ones, and I did think instead of my more kind of one that represents the Gen X sort of ethos that like you may be right. I was thinking of Born in the USA even,
Yeah.
Yep.
as because he's talking about all the shit that went wrong, post
Yeah.
Vietnam and all
Right.
the sort of
Right. The decline of the country and
Yep.
yeah, like, articulates and kind of presages how bad it's going to get, basically.
Yeah, that was what's fucked up is he talks about how bad everything is, but then it all got worse.
Right.
It was like,
We had no
he
idea, did we?
no, and he didn't know either. None of us knew there were 4 more years of Reagan after that. I mean, maybe we did by '84. Not
Yeah.
me. I was 11, but if you were old enough to understand it, and in a lot of what I talk about as a Gen Xer, I always go back and I say to people, look, I can like the evolutionary chart of, I can go to that devolutionary chart, start here and, get to where Newt Gingrich, becomes
Yeah.
becomes Dick Cheney, becomes Sarah Palin, becomes and go through all of that. But to me, it all began with Reagan.
Yeah.
I know there's Nixon, but Nixon was still in an era where he founded the EPA. He went and met with China. Like the liberal internationalist and liberal domestic order still was dominant. Even when
Yep.
Nixon committed his crimes, even whatever, Reagan changed it to where we went from a nation of community and the common good and realizing that taxes had a purpose and all this to me. And I feel like the greed and the I only give a shit about myself that he created around taxes has infected everything else.
Yep.
From all economic programs to I don't care. I have a right to my assault rifle, even if it means kids die in schools. I have a right to not get vaccinated, even if it means the measles outbreak. You have no responsibility to the common square, to society. It's all, and I really feel like that all changed. That culture changed with Reagan. So to me, that's ground zero
Yeah.
for where it all started
100%.
getting fucked up.
We absolutely, like, we talk about this all the time here,
Yes.
like with so many of our guests, we always somehow end up at Reagan is the place that it all started. And, as Gen Xers, we have witnessed the whole thing, right? Like you're
Yep.
saying, we kind of came to our political consciousness during Reagan.
Yep.
And we have been able to kind of draw the line and the through line that connects all the dots to get to the point where we are now, including we don't teach civics in school. And so the average American doesn't understand that Trump is fucking the Constitution because they
Right.
don't even know what the Constitution says anymore.
Right. Like we saw the faces. We remember what I always talk about with people is the Republican Party is there truly were decent people, a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
I mean, Jacob
John
Javits.
McCain was one of
My
them.
my family used to vote for Jacob Javits, even as Democrats, Republican from New York, because he was to the left of 2/3 of the Democratic caucus.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, he was so liberal. It was and I think of they were a party who I disagreed with on a lot. Looking back now, I wasn't old enough to understand it all then, but they believed in solutions. So we would say carbon tax and they would say cap and trade. The cap and trade was the more conservative, more market-oriented solution to the environment. We would say, ironically here, we would say universal healthcare, single payer or whatever, multi-payer, single payer, and they would say something along the lines of Obamacare. Heritage Foundation came up with that. No, we need to require everybody to get health insurance, have a mandate. Like it was more, and we need subsidies, but it'll be more market oriented. We'll regulate. And that was how it was done. George H.W. Bush created, Americans with Disabilities Act. They still created programs to help vulnerable people. Even if George H.W. Bush had a lot of shitty things he did too, there still was enough, even Reagan created the Veterans Administration and like gave amnesty to undocumented folks. And even with him changing who we were for the much worse, some of that liberal order we witnessed where it still existed in the Republican Party, where there still was that. And we saw that, I really think the first was when Gingrich pulled that caucus together where they would reject everything out of hand, even the moderates. And there were a decent number of them then. Anything that Bill Clinton said. Is where it all began, and it become more of a cult-like, power-obsessed mentality. And
1,000%.
we Democrats failed to recognize it and stand up to it and call the fuckers out. Other Republicans failed to stand up, which is why I stand up now to people I see as our own extremists. If you're trying to undermine us with some Jill Stein bullshit, get out of my face. And the Democrats or Republicans didn't stand up to their own extremists and let them take over. And corporate media decided that having whatever it was at that time, 30 something entities owning 90% of what we see in here we'd be much better off if we deregulated every fucking market you possibly could. So it went from 30 something to 6 today. Yeah. That's much better.
Yeah.
Like when they fired Jimmy Kimmel and I'd be like, who fired him? Was it Enterprise Rent-A-Car? Was it Nickelodeon? Was it ESPN? Was it ABC News? Was it, I mean, like there's 400,000 entities in there. Lionsgate? Like they're just big fucking conflicts of interest that care about shareholder values, and that's it.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
Not going to argue here.
Man, we're at the top of the hour. We want to be really respectful of your time. We're so grateful that you were able to come spend an hour with us.
If you want to talk a few more minutes, I'm happy to do it. if you want to be done, I'm happy to do that.
I
Whatever
could
you
go a
guys
couple
want to do.
minutes. Dana's the one that actually has the corporate job that she needs to get to. So
You guys decide, because I realize I talk too much. I always do.
no, man, this was perfect. You didn't talk too much at all.
You did, yeah. There's no such thing. I've been thinking in my head that Cliff, if you've got a Friday free in your future, you would be outstanding on our show, Fucked Up Friday, which we do every Friday, where we talk about the most fucked up news of the week as a competition. I
Oh
think
my
you would
God.
trounce us.
Please, can I come on that?
Kill it.
Yes.
I won't kill you. You know, like especially if we can, if we can come in and like maybe bring a few things. So one story is political, but there you find some other crazy shit that went on out there. I've often wanted to add to Blue Amp, like, news of the weird, or whatever the fuck you call it, to just because I find some of it amusing and just some of it like fascinating. Where you're just like, did that shit just really happen?
I mean, man, we didn't even get to today, and I wanted to be like, so Cliff, Trump tore down the facade of the East Wing of the White House.
That motherfucker.
How do you feel about that, man?
Yeah.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, Dana.
I was going to say 2 days, the AI video of the shit dropping on everybody, followed by destruction. Like, he shit on all of us, and then he tore down the fucking house. Our house. Like, I am not super rah-rah patriotic, but I don't know how anyone sees that and isn't like, the fuck.
I mean, the first of all, like other things, when you see like a symbol of what you are, and is where I always feel necessary to say, folks, I understand we're far from perfect, and we, slaves worked in and built that White House. So I don't understand that we did not live up to the words in either the Declaration or the Constitution fully. We still don't fully, but we didn't for a long time even come close to it. We tried, though. It was an amazing document at that time to even say that, white men were equal versus nobles. Okay, so it's sort of like we are going in stages. But with all that said, that was a symbol, like so many others. The Statue of Liberty, which is another symbol they might as well tear down. They've shat all over, and whatever. And to see that picture of the East Wing, like it's a gut punch. It fills you with this sadness that this fucking gauche game show host, disgusting guy that can't even he ties his tie down below his dick. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just going to bring that up often. Learn to tie a tie, motherfucker. Seriously. I went to an Episcopalian school for 10 years in New York City. We did tie. I learned by the time I was in second grade. What the fuck is wrong with you? Okay, I'm done. But like,
I'm fascinated to hear that a Jewish kid went to an Episcopalian school.
So this school, Grace Church, was a very liberal-minded Episcopalian. They took the social gospel to heart. I've never been like, I've always been so proud of having gone to that school because I feel like it was either, I want to say a quarter, it may have been a fifth of the class was either Black or Latino. And this was a time when segregation in the 70s was alive and well in New York. And it was not weird that my best friend was Black, and it didn't seem weird to me. Like my parents had to get used to it, and only because they were liberal, very liberal, and they were totally supported it. They just had to get used to it, like because they'd never seen this before.
Sure.
And so, yes, it was an Episcopalian school. Yes, we went to chapel once a week, but also there are at least 5 or so other kids there in a class of 35 or whatever who were Jewish, because they were very open-minded and very, and I'm so thankful to that was my early education. So it actually was a really good place to go. But
the Episcopalians seem pretty cool.
Honestly. They were one of the first to come out for gay marriage and abortion rights, and and I guess I'll just say quickly that to make that point, and if we need to go, that's cool. But the desecration of the East Wing, doing it right now while you're not paying people who are starving, you sick sociopathic, self-involved fuck. Like, you've got Trump derangement syndrome. I've got Son of Sam derangement syndrome. I have Saddam Hussein derangement syndrome. I have Idi Amin derangement syndrome. I'm weird and I have Bill Cosby derangement syndrome. I'm weird in that I fucking hate Epstein. I hate murderers and rapists. It's weird. I don't
Yeah.
understand what it is that would make me hate those kind of people. I'm not sure if that makes me deranged or it makes me human. Maybe the
Yeah.
person who says it's okay to rape, pillage, and kill. You should, I mean, whoever is saying that is the fucking Genghis Khan in this equation. I'm just a dude, a normal person. I hope, maybe not normal in other ways, but normal enough where I can be like, that guy's sick, and he's repulsive, and in any case, whatever. I can't say much more. I just that image hurts me looking
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah. No,
Gross.
same. I literally, it hurt my heart, and I teared up when I saw it, because I don't know why I was stupid enough to believe that they could actually pull it off without damaging the existing structure of the White House. But of course that's what he said. That's what he told everybody.
Yep.
And of course it was another lie. Like even in this, of course he was lying. And your buddy Joe Walsh posted yesterday. I think you saw this because I think we both restacked it. That
I saw it
uh,
too.
yeah, he
Yes.
was like, if somebody runs in 2028 on tearing down the Trump ballroom, I will vote for them. And I was like, fuck yeah, man. Honestly, like, say you're going to tear down the Trump ballroom and jackhammer up the concrete in the Rose Garden and replant Jackie's
Like the
roses.
roses.
And I'm there.
I am too. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, as somebody, like, I wrote ads in the past and whatever, and I would just say, please, guys, the metaphor there, like the emotional impact on people of that image, and the metaphor of what
Right.
of America.
Dude,
Because what he's done to the East Wing, he's done to America. Please, if you don't make an ad about that, I'm going to be I'll make it myself. I don't give a
absolutely.
shit.
And when we do it, it could be like Big Block of Cheese Day. Everyone gets to come and grab a sledgehammer and take a couple swings at the
Right.
ballroom. Like everyone gets to help knock it down, because we're going to need the emotional catharsis, right?
Now you're reminding me, because I said I think what I responded to Joe, or I think Schuster also shared it, is I was like, big party, BYOB, bring your own bulldozer.
Yeah.
Yes.
We all get to bring our own bulldozer and just fucking knock that shitty, gaudy, I'm sure trashy. I'm sure everybody who shows up there will have like fucking lips like a duck, and be wearing in their gross
It's going to be
Mar-a-Lago
covered with
chic.
gold. There's going to be gilt on everything. Like it's just going to. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I don't. The stupidest, just grossest. I mean, couldn't you guys find like like at least a semi-respectable fascist to support? But this fucking guy,
Right.
Yeah, the visuals of the shit dropping followed by the thing torn down. Wasn't it within 24 hours? I mean,
yeah, it was basically within 24 48 hours of each other.
Fucking monsters. How is this not a relationship extinction event with our president? How are people not just screaming to get him out of there?
Well, I'll say this: if you want to make people happy, you were talking, so I'm going to shut up again. But I want to make sure people know this stat before I leave. So go ahead. Sorry.
No,
go.
Sure.
Recent fucking poll, AP, NORC. Again, never believe one poll. Polls are somewhat fucked these days, but you look for trends. This is showing a trend, though. 37% approval. Start off with how amazing that is. I mean, again, it should be 2%, but we have to be realistic. The fact that he's heading towards the 1/3, which has always been the theory that any fascist can get in any democracy.
Right,
he's heading towards that base level support. 61% disapproval.
Nice.
I mean, if there had been a huge number of undecideds in there or whatever, I'm not saying it still wouldn't be good at 37%, but that 61, that over 6 in 10 disapprove.
Right. And that means that there's
fucking amazing
2% who don't have an opinion, right?
Yep.
That's incredible.
Yep. The thing I need to look to in there, somebody understands polling, and maybe somebody knows it in here, is you look for the ones who say they strongly disapprove, because the weaker disapproves you can sometimes win back.
Right.
Strong disapproves generally, not always. Obviously, there's events that change everything.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got a call and I had to turn it off. But there are events that change that change everything. But if there's an asteroid coming towards Earth or something, but then I think we all have less to worry about. But otherwise, like getting people that say they fucking hate you to vote for you is a pretty hard thing. Saying people that I don't approve, I don't like him, but winning them back, you can do that sometimes.
Right.
It's hard, but you can do that. You're not winning people back that hate your fucking guts.
Right.
So
I would hate his fucking guts. And you know who else hates his guts now? Is speaking of music, Kenny fucking Loggins, because he used Highway to the Danger Zone in that
I know.
video.
Yeah.
And Kenny Loggins is like, absolutely not.
I know. I think I retweeted that. I'm like, I had something along the lines of like, don't fuck with Kenny Loggins.
Okay,
And
Kenny Loggins.
if Trump tries to play, if he tries, even dares to play, I'm all right. Then I want Kenny Loggins to throw a rabid gopher at him.
Right. And he didn't, Kenny Loggins, the statement I saw, he didn't say like, I hate Trump. He didn't
Yep.
make it partisan. He was just like, he did a very neutral. I can't believe anyone would be okay with what was shown in that video. And I would never have allowed my song to be used with it. And I was like, fuck yeah, Kenny, you're still king of the yacht rockers.
But
at least one of the
he
kings.
is. Well, but I love it even more also when they're not partisan. Because in the end, I don't hate Trump because he's a Republican. I don't hate anybody because they're a Republican. I hate them because of what Republicans stand for now and what Donald Trump stands for. You know, Republican is just a word. You know, it's what they've chosen to turn it into is what I hate. So, but you know, and I may use that word a lot, but if you're Kenny Loggins, I think you can be more effective just doing it the way he did it.
Yeah, the like no one should be okay with this imagery, and he's right. I mean, like, I'm still. You've worked in communications and PR. Like, can you fathom that was official? That wasn't like some person made it and Trump shared it. That was the official white, like Donald Trump account.
I mean, the official Homeland Security. Yeah, the official Homeland Security account showed to try to pretend that they didn't murder, and let's all use that word, please, because again, messaging. They murdered a Trinidadian fisherman who did fucking nothing to them. Because they're evil pieces of shit. And we know the identity now, not a drug dealer. So what do? They pull out of their asses some picture that somebody pointed out and found from a drug bust in 2024. And the official Homeland Security account sent out that disinformation that was a picture of his boat. I mean, that's what we're dealing with at this point. That level of dishonesty.
Yeah, it's gross. The Portland pictures too, and they've been reporting on Portland, Oregon, which is like my sister city. You know, I was just there last weekend. In fact, I'm wearing my fried egg I'm in love hoodie today, which is a Portland breakfast chain that's amazing. You would love it. Every item on the menu is a song pun. So
I need to go there. I mean, the two cities in this country, the only region of this country I haven't been to is the Pacific Northwest, and it depresses me. Because a bunch of times I've wanted to go, and I'm supposed to go for like a business meeting or supposed to go for something, and a trip at one point, and it fell through. And I'm like, come on.
Oh, it's great.
I want to go to Montana, and then, and head on over, and then go to Seattle, go down to Portland, and, the whole deal.
Work trip. I'm pitching you as my boss now. We need to get you out to Portland to do some on the ground reporting of, Portland burning down. And
I think that'd be awesome.
I was there, just walking. I was like so angry, and I made just a couple short videos that actually, like, for my little account did pretty well. Of like, this is so irresponsible that the media is taking the word of our president, who's like, Portland's on fire, and blah, blah, blah. Portland is like the chillest, weirdest city. And even like talking to the people working there, like at our hotel, they had no idea what was being reported about them because they were like, wait, what?
And Chicago, I was there. I went to see two different shows there.
Yeah.
And it's only 5 hours from here, and we went there, and like both times, Chicago under siege, whatever. I should have done reporting from the ground there. I should have just been like, wow, look at all of these people here, hanging out in Grant Park who are happily eating their lunch in the sun, and talking to each other. And I mean, like, they're just everything. Everything is a lie, and that's why I hate. I don't just dislike. I fucking hate. There are exceptions to this, but I overall hate corporate media because, again, if they did their job, I don't ask them to be Democrats. Like, we're going to be activists. I don't want you to be. If you just do what you say you do and report the truth.
Right.
Yes.
That's all I need from you. I don't want you you don't have to even give an opinion. Just show what Portland really looks like alongside what he's saying.
Right.
All you have to do. And they won't even do that. And I just, God, they suck.
Yeah.
So.
They do.
Yeah,
it would be so easy to prove it. It's just right there. Like, it's like that movie Don't Look Up that, from a few years back with the asteroid. It was like, just just look at Portland. Just send somebody or hire someone there. Just go walk around downtown with your camera.
And the same thing with Chicago. You know, he said this about a few other cities too. Don't remember which other ones. And like he said about Chicago, I'm like, Chicago's a beautiful city.
Yeah.
And if there's
Chicago's amazing.
any crime that happens there, being that my work for every town let me, we did a special project there where I had to do a whole thing. It's like, the reason why there are more gun deaths there are because of you motherfuckers. After Newtown, we're sitting right there with something 90% of the American people supported, and you proved that even before Trump, you had broken democracy, Mitch fucking McConnell. No, I don't care that you fell, by the way, because I hate you. But you blocked something, the background checks that tell us that just universal background checks would lower the gun violence rate by 60%. All right. We have to do other stuff to go further, but just background checks, and they wouldn't even do that. And what's going on there? I'll tell you what's going on. People are driving into Gary, Indiana, because it's right over the border, because Chicago has tough gun laws. And of course, the Supreme Court's undermined that too, but they still have as tough laws as they can have. So where are those guns coming from? 60% are coming from Indiana, and then like another 20 to 30% or more are coming from like other parts of Illinois and Wisconsin and other states that do not have as stringent gun laws as Illinois does. A very small percent are originating in Chicago. You know why? Because gun control fucking works. Because when we banned machine guns, you didn't see machine guns anywhere anymore. Except Project 2025 wants to get rid of that 100-year ago rule and bring back people owning machine guns because assault rifles aren't enough.
Yeah. Right. All right, Cliff, I've got one last question for you because I do have to.
No, I do have to go do some stuff too. I just love.
Yeah, I heard Lawrence's new boss is kind of a dick.
Oh, so Dick doesn't even begin. It doesn't begin to start like he's a pain in the ass. He's really not that smart. Like, he thinks he's hot shit. I mean,
are you bugging my stuff? Are you working with Christy Nome to bug all my equipment?
That's right. Me, also, Christy, and the human thumb, Tom Homan.
Yeah. All right,
I took 50,000 in a bag, and then I decided to do it.
So all of Seattle died last night.
Yeah.
God, talk about baseball. In the end, like I was pulling for you guys. God, he has to come in and pull a Kirk Gibson Springer in like the 7th inning and do that.
Honestly, I think everybody, like all the great disturbance in the force that you felt in that moment was like everyone who had a Seattle connection just dying because the club has never been to the World Series.
I know.
The only team, the last team that has never made it to the World Series.
Seriously? Oh, I didn't know that.
What are they? I didn't think the other thing I thought was I didn't think Milwaukee had been either. Have they been? Have they been?
They've at least been. They've never won, but they've been. Seattle has never even made it to the World Series.
Oh, I didn't know that. We're losers.
Yeah.
With the year Cal Raleigh's having, like, I wanted you guys in the end. Originally, I told you my reasons for Toronto. Initially, I was rooting for them because, and now I'm hugely rooting for them because I hate the Dodgers.
Well, that was my next question was like, in this World Series, who are you going for?
Oh, easiest thing in the world. I mean, I grew up in Manhattan. I was a Yankees fan. I remember Reggie Jackson's 3 home runs in the World Series when I was like 4 or 5 against the Dodgers. We may have lost them last year. And all you Dodgers fans will get pissed at me now. But I would point out that if we put the record from the 50s on, we've won like 9 of the 12 times we've met in the World Series. So I'm still good with that. But I hate them. The whole deferring money and having Ohtani in there and all that shit. And to me, the bigger deal would be the Blue Jays win. I get 2 awesome things. One, it's a way for like Canada to win, and we can blame it on Trump and say, "See, you made American baseball weaker too, you fuck." And 2 is a personal thing. I grew up with an Indianan, in fact, from Evansville, Indiana, Don Mattingly, who I grew up on and was the greatest at that moment for a few years there before his back went out. Was what a thing to watch in New York, and he's the hitting coach for the Blue Jays, and he just deserves that ring. The only playoffs he ever made, because remember, there's no wild card when we lost to Seattle. Ken Griffey Jr. was amazing. And he grew up here in Cincinnati, by the way. I know where his school is. He's still a legend here. But when they beat us in that, I mean, Mattingly, the one chance he got, hit 417, had like 1 or 2 homers, a bunch of RBIs, like showed he could do it. And he never got a chance to win that ring. So every part of me, every single fiber in my being wants the Blue Jays to win and beat the Dodgers.
Nice. All right.
That's
All
where I
right.
am.
I'm still very torn. There's a West Coast part of me that kind of wants the Dodgers, but
Fair.
I'm not sure that I can forgive the Blue Jays, but maybe by Friday I'll feel differently.
If I can forgive them for like destroying us around earlier, I mean, at least with you guys, you gave them a run for their money.
Yeah.
You know, you won't appreciate that, and no, you know, it's tough too. It's like when I look back at the 2001 World Series right after 9/11, Yankees versus Diamondbacks goes to like extra innings walk off in Game 7. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I hate it that we lost, and I still have to admit that that was one of the best playoff series, greatest playoff series I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This wasn't far from that. I mean, it sucks because when you're on the losing end, it's hard to appreciate it. But it was an amazing series. You guys were amazing, and I wish you had pulled it out. But
Yeah. Yeah. Cliff, man, this has been so much fun. You gotta promise to come back for Fucked Up Friday at some point. We would absolutely kill. You would kill it. We would have a blast.
well, I'm guaranteeing you right now, I'm coming on. It's just I know you guys aren't like ADHD like me, who can't find your pants in the morning. So you like plan ahead like 18 weeks. So I think I have to book now. If I book now, can I get on by like February or something? Because
I
I'll
think
do
we
it.
still
Get
have
on in
December
November.
slots open.
Yeah,
I'm
we've
sorry?
got we've got some November slots and all of December open. So I'll message you.
Throw me in for whatever the first one is that is open. And I will just make sure that we're not going out of town or doing anything where I can't do it, and I'm on.
Sweet. So
Amazing. That's good. I
everyone
cannot
should
wait.
go sign up for Blue Amp. Go make sure that Blue Amp Media. You are at least a subscriber, and if you can, please become a paid subscriber. Cliff is doing great work over there. I'm honored to be working with him. Cliff, I'm gonna embarrass you. Who's on your shows this week on Wednesday and Thursday?
You son of a bitch.
He
Well,
doesn't know yet, people, because he hasn't asked.
that's right. No, that's not true. I waited till Monday to ask, which never good thing. And I asked a few folks, and none of them have been able to definitively. Though there is one, a bigger name we discussed, but if he hasn't said yes yet, I don't feel like I should say
Okay.
who I think is going to come on. But the bigger deal will be tomorrow. Maybe we'll have Dana on tomorrow if she's willing to join us.
Ooh, I might. Yeah. What time?
We do one from StreamYard so that's our one that we go out to multiple platforms, YouTube, Twitch, and Substack and everything, and it's from 2 to 3.
2 to 3 Eastern time.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I
so
should say 2 to
11
3
to
Eastern.
12 for you.
Okay, I'll message you.
You decide if you want it, it's yours. But
Okay.
if you can, like, let me know as soon as possible because we're running out of time.
Because somebody's gonna have to make the graphics and shit.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have my people contact your people. We're gonna get on this.
All right. Look, I held you guys 23 minutes over, and Jim is counting here. I hope that's not complaining, Jim. I hope that means you enjoyed it.
No, I think people are having a blast.
I think they are too. My chat froze, so I can't. I was trying to answer people in the chat. It froze about 15 minutes ago. So
you're yeah. I mean, like I guess maybe I'm unique, whatever. But to me, what is more fun in the world than this?
I totally agree.
Talking to awesome people and having fun and laughing, but also addressing really important topics in between. Hopefully, educating folks, educating ourselves. I learned from you. You probably don't learn anything you need from me, but maybe something here and there.
Hey, we got to talk about Def Leppard and Night Ranger. I'm happy. That's all
There
I
you go.
need in a show.
But I mean, I literally could just do this all day. So, to steal a Captain America line, which I also like to quote movies. I could do this all day. So,
yeah, same. We love it, man. We love it. Thank you so much for being
Thanks
here.
for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it.
So much. Thanks to everyone who's been so awesome in the chat.
It's been a blast and great meeting you, Dana. And thank you, Lawrence. And you guys are awesome. I'll see you guys later. Take care.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Love you, mean it. Bye.
Love you, mean it. Bye.